There's a trend going on right now with YouTubers where a lot of them are quitting, or they're readjusting things in their life, or they're changing the output or realigning what they're doing to fit their life better now. And I celebrate that. That's, you know, everyone's got their own story. But I've also been really wondering if I should continue with videos here on YouTube. I'm not sure the stories that I have at 6 years into this really have as much relevance to somebody who's just starting. Today, it's a different world, it's a more dangerous world. And there are a lot of resources out there now for people. Better resources. If you're here, if you clicked on the thumbnail, great. Let's get at it, let's chat about it, and we'll talk through it. Hi, my name is Kate Madden, and I make videos here on the unceded land of the Coast Salish people. I've been making videos for the last 5 years. I uploaded my first video in January of 2019. If this is your first time, thanks, welcome. Hit that notification bell over here. I think it should be right here. If it's not here, it's going to be here. It's where the little trans flag is. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the, you know, standard YouTuber things that people ask for. So smash that like button, right? So silly. I've been watching Tom Scott for a number of years. One of my favorite YouTubers, has a lot of interesting and educational things that he posts, and thought-provoking, not just on YouTube, also on other platforms. And Maddie Apoya, and so on and so forth. There were several others. And I think, you know, in watching those videos, what it comes down to is that there's a joy that's lost in creation, in that creativity should inspire. I've seen a number of videos where they talk about work-life balance and some of the issues with that, the struggle with that, particularly if their spouse is their partner on the YouTube channel. Like, what kind of pillow talk is that, discussing your click-through rate or your subscriber count or whatever? I can see how that would get very tiring very quickly. And the third reason I've seen people leave YouTube is it seems like an obligation is created, or they feel that obligation to upload every Tuesday or every second Friday, or, you know, Mondays at 7, Saturdays at 10, whatever it is. And it burns them out. And they get pushed away from what made them happy in the first place starting this. There's a lot that goes into making a YouTube video. First, you gotta write it, or at least come up with an idea. You're worried about the lighting, so you're the gaffer, or the key grip, or both. You're editing. Oh my God, you're editing. It's my least favorite thing about YouTube, editing. You're the cinematographer, you know, so you're checking the camera for focus, you're checking it for depth of field, you're checking it for white balance. So, you know, I've got the cool light with the warm light. It should look okay. You're in charge of marketing too. Like, you're creating the thumbnail that entice people to click through. And you want a high click-through rate, or CTR, so that, you know, for every person that sees it, 1,000 engagements or whatever, there's a specific number that click through and watch your video, or continue on through the retention rate. And by this point, about 80% of people who started watching the video are not watching it. So thank you for being here. And then lastly, you're dealing with the admin and the strategy piece of it. You're watching other YouTubers, learning from them. You're emailing, you're setting stuff up, you're responding to comments, you're deleting comments. Sometimes you're going back and forth with someone whose life has been impacted by a video that you've made, and that's really moving, really touching to get feedback like that. There's a lot of my life online. I've made thousands of posts across social media. I've shared a lot, maybe overshared in some situations, some circumstances. I've upset people with the things I've shared, making their life into content. I've got over 200 videos here on YouTube. Almost 200,000 people have watched those videos, and I'm so grateful that you're here. It's that you find some value in what I'm sharing. And I've had people who have stopped me on the street, who have sat down next to me at the bar and say, "I recognize you from," and that's cool. Like it's always like, wow, like something I did has reached this person who I don't know, and please say hi if you see me. But there's also like this calculus I do in my head. It's like, when did they start watching? What do they know? How much do they know about me? It's like, ostensibly this person whom I'm just talking to is a stranger, and they know a lot about me. I don't know a whole lot about them. So it's the whole parasocial relationship aspect of it, I suppose. But in sharing as much as I have, I did experience some burnout a couple of years ago, and I didn't post as much here to YouTube in that time, like maybe a handful of videos that year. I think it was 2021, 22, I don't know. It was a couple of years ago. And that was because I felt this obligation to be always posting, to be always contributing, to be looking at different situations, like how can this be a video? What can I make a video out of this? Or how can I share this with people? And it just sucked a lot out of me. Like it wasn't the same anymore. I got into this because it was a fun hobby, and now I was feeling like it wasn't. It finally clicked for me across all social media for me, where I just didn't care. I was going to post what I was interested in, and that was it. Like, if you want to come along and there's some value you can get from that, if you enjoy it, if you want to go back and forth, fantastic. But I don't do it for the subs, as my son would say. And I just make things that I want to make. I think I have thoughts that I do want to share, that I do want to put on paper or breathe into this world. And in putting everything into goblin mode, so to speak, all that pressure was gone. And I was watching MKHBD did a video about this subject, because he lives an algorithm-driven life as well. He's noticed it in his feeds, and he talked about how you need to get on a treadmill and find a speed that works for you, both internally and externally, and where you can reach the goals that you set for yourself. And so I think that's a great way to look at it. It's like, how do you measure success? What is it you want? Is it 1 million subscribers? Is it to make an income from creativity? Because that is possible, and I've done it with photography. I haven't made very much money from YouTube. I've had a couple of speaking engagements, hotel rooms. I appreciate the people who have bought me a coffee through the coffee platform. That's really cool. I do go grab a coffee, and I take a canary yellow notepad, and I write out ideas. So I really appreciate that. Link in the bio. I just like drip coffee, so nothing fancy, just drip or pour over. That's my deal. But how do you measure that success? And when I started YouTube, I was measuring it by reach, subscribers, and wanting to make it into a job. I've never had a hobby where it has informed so much of my professional life, and my work being in sales and marketing, where so much of that is able to inform the hobby as well, in terms of strategy, execution, so on and so forth. And at work, being able to bring stronger narrative and content into the things I'm putting out there into the marketplace. And I started this thinking, I could be just like them, with their 10 million subscribers and so on and so forth. I could get AdSense revenue. I could get sponsorships. I have had one sponsorship request, but it sounded really fishy, so I didn't do it. And it just didn't matter. I got to a point where it didn't matter. And I'm just having fun now. And I like it way more than I did 5 years ago. That's for sure. Just do what you love. Make what you want. Make what you want to see. And don't worry about anyone else. I think it's about being intentional. It's about choosing the life that you want, about creating the things that you want, and living that with purpose. whatever that is. I don't know if quitting is quite the right word for me with regards to YouTube and this channel, but I have sensed in pursuing this goblin mode over the last 12 to 18 months that the things I am sharing, the things I am posting are more just about my day-to-day life. You know, as a 40-something parent, professional, Gen Xer, like it's I don't feel my content is as trans focused these days as it once was. It's not to say I won't make it, but I just find that I'm being drawn into a lot of different circles based on my interests. Maybe you all are sick of hearing me post about soccer, I don't know. But trans women in sport is a significant thing that we're all dealing with, and that trans kids are dealing with throughout the world, at least the English-speaking world, in Australia, the UK, Ireland, USA, and here in Canada. It's something that I'm sure we're going to see more of as the election approaches, and followed by a Canadian election the year after. But it's going to be an issue. It's going to be something we're seeing provincial governments, New Brunswick, Saskatchewan, and this week, as of recording, the Alberta provincial government has announced they'll have they'll have parental rights introduced, but really it's as part of silencing of 2S LGBTQIA students. All that to say is I think there still is an importance on a lot of the subjects that I'm sharing or that I'm experiencing in my day-to-day life. And I think there is relevance for people who are watching and tagging along. And some of that dissonance that's coming, that's kind of causing me to think about this is I'm a different person. I'm a different person than I was 5 years ago when I started this, or when I started thinking about this, or writing those first videos. I'm not the same as I was. I've grown, like we're supposed to. And I saw this saying recently that said, grow or grow old. And that's all I'm trying to do, is just grow. And maybe YouTube will be a part of that in the future. Maybe it won't, but for now it is. I'm still, by being intentional and doing what I love, or what I want to share, or what I want to see, I'm having fun, and I'm going to keep doing it. But is it going to be like other trans influencers? Not really. I'm not 24. I've done some get ready with me videos. I've done some makeup tutorials. I am giving some consideration to how to change my makeup style, so maybe I'll have to do another one in the coming months. If you've made it this far and less than 20% of you are still here from the beginning, thank you. I do sincerely appreciate it. And it has been wonderful to share a lot of my experiences with you over the last 5 years, and to learn from you as well. The things you've shared in the comments, or in the live streams, or in the DMs with me. I feel like a lot of us have grown together, and that's something that we don't get to experience all the time these days as you're getting older, you know? So, thank you. There will be another video, no doubt. I don't know when though. It'll come. And in the meantime, find me on other platforms. Probably still post a bunch of shorts. And as always, here's to life.